Yeah. Have you ever seen anything like crazy on a cruise ship? Like just some wild, crazy shit? Or is it just like such a common occurrence that you're like, yeah, I saw some stuff. It's no big deal.
I mean, I don't know what you call crazy. Probably the craziest thing that ever happened to me on a cruise ship is I got stuck on a ship when COVID was happening.
No.
Yeah.
Whoa. Were you like quarantined on the ship for like months?
Pretty much, yeah.
No way.
Yeah. If you, at that time, if you were watching the news and you saw stranded cruise ship is whatever, I was one of those. So, yeah.
I can relate. I was in the Navy for a while. And I did like a 6-month deployment. And there was like 62 days that we were out to sea with no port, nothing like that. And it was just work every single day. It was so that's kind of like the way that I sort of commiserate with you. Was it kind of like that? You still had to go to work. You still had to operate.
Yes, it was very different because we had guests on board still.
Yeah.
It's not that we were able to disembark all the guests and only crew were on board. And so we still had to take care of the guests. And so that meant that every guest, basically it wasn't long story, but basically it was an announcement one day from the captain saying we are receiving a lot of people that are reporting flu-like symptoms. Mm-hmm. At that time, obviously, there were no tests or anything on board.
Wow.
And he said, for that reason, I have to ask you, everyone, to go to your rooms and stay there until further notice.
Wow.
And so obviously that changed the dynamic of the cruise. It wasn't a cruise anymore. It was kind of like a humanitarian situation.
Yeah.
Because you have to think that it's definitely not the same operation for people to go outside of the rooms and have their meals at different restaurants throughout the day than to take food to 1,400 different people, 3 meals a day, every single day, while at the same time the crew members were falling ill. And obviously the cruise ship feeds itself. So you either can give service or you need service. And if you're isolated, there's one less person that can give service and one more person that needs service. And so at one point of the 600 crew, there were 350 that were isolated. So that means, 250 that were isolated, so 350 had to give service to about 1,700 people.
Oh my word.
Whilst everything else was going on in the world with the worries of like what's happening in my country, with my family, with my relatives. So yeah, it was a pretty crazy situation. Eventually, people ended up dying on board. Wow. Trump was talking about our ship. Like I was on the ship watching my TV, and Trump was talking about our ship. I was talking to my family, and it was like, or people were hitting me up, and they were like, "Is this you? Like, are you on the ship?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me."
Can I ask what ship it was?
Yeah, it was Holland America. That's the cruise company, and the ship is called Zaandam. Zaandam.
Man, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you have people like dying on board and everything.
Yeah. Even, again, it's a super long story. We had another ship that came from the company, and we were able to disembark some of our guests on that ship. But the people that remained on board had the idea that they were going to die. Basically, if they remained on board, they were going to die. Everybody's jobs changed because, there was no reason for me to go on stage because there was nobody there at the theater. Right. So
it feels just like Austin, I guess.
yeah, pretty much like an open mic. And so I was delivering, beverages and that kind of thing. I was picking up phones. One day I picked up the phone and somebody was like, "Oh, can I talk to the psychologist? Because my brother died yesterday." I was like, what the hell? I mean, I signed up to do like entertain people, and I'm doing the exact opposite. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. Then when we got into Fort Lauderdale, eventually we disembarked our guests. There were helicopters all around us. The Coast Guard was waiting for us with big guns. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Wow, yeah. That sounds absolutely like nightmarish.
Yeah.
How long were you out, you think?
So the cruise started on March 7th in Buenos Aires. Mm-hmm. Then everything shut down and started to get weird on March 15th. And then the captain made the announcement that everybody had to go to the rooms on March 22nd. And then we eventually got to Florida. I think it was April 4th, and it took us 5 days to disembark everybody. But that's disembark the guests. Then the crew members had to stay on board. We did a 14-day quarantine on board. Then we were transferred to different ships because it was hard to get really long flights, but it was easier to get shorter flights. And so what the company did is they took some of their ships and they went to different hubs around the world. So one ship went to India, another ship went to South Africa, another one went to, Germany, et cetera, et cetera. And so that the crew members could disembark. And so I got transferred to another ship. I went to Netherlands. I wasn't able to disembark there. I was transferred to another ship. So anyway, basically, since I wasn't able to step on land for 70 days.
70 days.
Yeah.
Wow.